What is up, ladies and gentlemen? You are watching another Madman film review. This time we've got one of the most polarizing prospects in this entire draft class, the quarterback out of Louisville. You've heard of him by now, whether you're a college football fan or an NFL fan. If you popped on SportsCenter over the last 3 months or over the last year, you've heard of Lamar Jackson, 2016 Heisman winner. Had a pretty solid season as well last year. Some people think he shouldn't even play quarterback and that he should convert to wide receiver. I think that's ridiculous. Some people think he's worth a top 5 pick. And we're going to take a deep dive into what makes him special and what he needs to work on in order to be able to become a franchise quarterback. And I want to start with one of the biggest misconceptions, and then we'll get right into the film review. Some people say he's too undersized, he's too small. He's 6'2", about 213. Josh Rosen, who is a consensus number 2 pick or number 1 pick, is 6'3", 218. Not very different. So anyone that uses the body type as a reason why Lamar Jackson can't be a franchise quarterback hasn't done any of their homework. Just throwing that out there. So let's get right to it. The first thing I'm going to talk about some of the boringer things first that make him a good quarterback, and then we'll get to the really fun stuff because obviously he has an extra dynamic that makes him so special. But one of his great qualities is his ability when he has some time to scan the field and just understand what's going on and make really quick decisions. He does this a lot more often than people really give him credit for. And it's one of the main reasons why I don't want to see him convert to wide receiver. So let's look at this first play right here. And right off the bat, let's just go take a look at number 5. So notice I'm going to stop right when the ball is released. That's what I'm going to do for most of these. So you notice here what you have. You have this linebacker. He's just nowhere to be seen when it comes to number 5. Number 5 is going to be the target. You have this safety right here. He notices as the ball is being released, he's not looking at Lamar. He's too far away. He's not going to do anything. And notice all the separation there is between this cornerback, defensive back, and number 5. By the time this ball has left Lamar's hand, as long as it's accurate, and he is very accurate when it comes to his short and even some intermediate passes. Number 5, that break, perfectly timed throw when it comes to leaving his hand. Watch here, bam, ball right in his hands. No defenders are near him. He ends up going forward for a solid extra gain right there. So that's a really nice diagnosis. Now this next one right here, just notice how quickly the ball leaves his hands. 1, 2, ball is snapped. Notice nobody else in this area. He noticed that one-on-one coverage immediately. Let it rip. Look, 5 minutes left in this game too. 2nd and 3. Really good time. Situational awareness. It's 2nd down. They might be expecting a run. And that's one thing that makes him so great too, is when you have him, you don't know if he's going to run. You don't know if he's going to pass. You have no idea what he's going to do. And he just notices that one-on-one instantly. Ball is thrown. Not perfect. And we'll get to his deep throwing accuracy because that is one thing he needs to work on. But it is right in the bread bucket. That is a catchable ball for number 87. Not perfect coverage, but very good coverage. Could have let him maybe just a little more, so he could have extended his hands a little more, but that's a catchable ball. He ends up dropping it. It doesn't end up being a touchdown. But the fact that he diagnosed that single coverage so quickly, and we're actually going to go back here too, because we can't see because I don't have the all 22, but when the ball is thrown, just take a quick look here. You notice there's 2 players right here. So what I'm going to assume that there was one single high safety playing deep zone. This was probably a cover 1, some sort with some man coverage. Safety bit on the right, and Lamar noticed that. He sent both of them on seam routes, and this was where the one-on-one coverage was. That's a really nice diagnosis and a very good throw. Again, that's catchable. Good coverage, good throw. Not a perfect throw, but a very good one, especially for someone as young as Lamar. That could have been a touchdown right there. So we look at this next one right here, and this is really interesting. So again, let's take a look right here as he winds up. Now, notice, let's just go back one little bit. This is where he starts to make his decision. He's looking at his tight end right here. Tight end has the leverage when it comes to this defensive back right here. This defensive back is not going to be able to catch him in such a short period of time as Lamar is able, as you've seen already, just able to lace that ball right into tight windows. And then you look at this linebacker here. He's not facing Lamar. So, yes, he has good positioning, but he doesn't know that the ball is about to leave his hands. So Lamar does a quick little pump fake. He notices, but by then already this tight end has a chance to get by. Ball is thrown, and it is thrown right past this linebacker. That's really a perfect throw. And look, he has it right in his hands. Tough angle, but it does end up getting dropped. If he waited even a slight half-second longer to make that throw, that's probably intercepted. And again, it's not perfect. In fact, if he had maybe waited, thrown it a little earlier, he could have probably let him. But ball ended up in his hands. He got it past there. That's a tight window. Ball is in his hands. He could have caught that. That ends up being dropped as well. So this is a very interesting one right here. These are the types of plays, and I don't want to make this comparison. I'm not making this comparison, but these are really some of the types of plays that make guys like Alex Smith and Tom Brady so good is that they'll take what the defense gives them instead of just wanting to bomb it deep all the time, which some even really elite quarterbacks struggle with. Guys like Ben Roethlisberger, Jameis Winston, who's not as elite, even Phillip Rivers, my main man, my favorite quarterback, obviously, struggle with sometimes just taking what the defense gives them. So notice here, before the ball is even snapped, you have 2 defensive backs, 2 wide receivers. Everybody else is in the box. They're really the only ones you need to worry about. Ball is snapped. By the time this defender is looking at this wide receiver right here, you know he's not focused on this wide receiver. Let's go a little further. Right as the ball is being released, that's when 87 turns. Perfectly timed throw. And you'll notice back here, there's the defender. You can't really see him behind that box, but by the time this ball is thrown, this defender doesn't really have time to react because he turned. That is just perfect chemistry between him and number 87. Perfectly timed throw. Ball ends up being caught. Nice accuracy. Gives him a chance to start leading as well. He ends up picking a nice quick first down. So you look here, ball is being snapped again. Now take a look right here. This is what I noticed. You see right here, look at this area. He's going to be the intended target. And yes, that's some pretty good coverage, but already notice the defensive back. He's kind of focused on this. These 2 defenders both focused on the running back. And the second Lamar noticed that, he realizes these 2 defensive backs are preoccupied with these 2 wide receivers right here. Lamar has one-on-one coverage. There's open field all ahead. And again, this defensive back now, yes, he's tight right in this frame, but as the ball is thrown, look, he's too far away. There's about a yard or 2 of separation. Ball leaves his hands. He leads his receiver perfectly. More space now. This defender's too far away. He reacted way too late. He's still preoccupied with the running back. And that was really the thing that Lamar seemed to notice, was the second you see both of these guys start looking at this running back, that's when he knows he has that one-on-one coverage. That's just really good awareness, really quick processing of information going on the field. It took me 2 or 3 times watching each of these plays to know what was going on, and I have the benefit of seeing the whole field, and Lamar just notices it immediately. That's another really nice throw. That ends up being a very big gain. Huge play. And also, you'll notice here, I'm just going to point this out now, I picked 4 games against 4 of the top defenses that Lamar played. So you'll see plays against NC State, who has Bradley Chubb, the best defensive player in this draft so far, based on what I've seen and based on the general consensus. Clemson, a national title contender. Mississippi State, a very solid SEC school where they played in that bowl game. And Florida State, who have a ton of talent, obviously underachieved. 3 of the 4 games on the road as well, because if you can compete on the road in college football, any quarterback can really look good at home. Not any, but you have the fans behind you. You don't have to deal with crowd noise. 3 of these 4 games, he's dealing with crowd noise. He's dealing with, the road moment, the home crowd having that momentum with their teams. And he still makes some throws like this. So this is another very interesting one. Now, again, I'm going to pause it right as the ball is being released from his hands. Look at what we have here. This is a really well-designed play as well. This linebacker right here, he's not a non-factor at this point. You have these 2 defensive backs. Notice again, right as the ball is leaving his hands is when these 2 defensive backs are running into each other. And that's kind of like a designed pick play, basically, with these crossing routes right here. And that's going to give his tight end just enough time to create some separation with this defensive back right here. And Lamar notices that perfectly. Now, you have this single coverage right here. If this receiver was making that cut, maybe he could have gotten it to him too. But this is the perfect throw to make. This is the right decision. 2nd and goal in a bowl game early on, trying to build that momentum. Again, just those 2 just cuts him off slightly, just enough to get the ball into his tight end's hands, and he ends up falling into the end zone for a touchdown. So here we have another one now. Ball is snapped. Look as Lamar is leaving. Again, you just have a couple of single coverage right here. This defensive back is taking care of him right there. So just one-on-one coverage all around as the ball is leaving his hands. This is, again, just really nice communication and, chemistry between Lamar and number 1 right here. Pretty tight coverage there, but the way, notice that right as the ball leaves his hands is kind of when number 1 makes his break towards the center, as opposed to before when he was kind of running straight right here. So he makes that break up, and that is just a perfectly thrown ball right as he's able to lead him through these 2 defenders. Too late for him to react. Too late for him to react right there. And he ends up dropping it, actually, as you see there. But that's another very catchable ball. Now, you'll notice with a few of these drops, he is kind of just bulleting it. But for this one, you kind of needed to. Maybe he does need to work on his touch a little bit, especially I noticed some times where he would bullet it. Someone was just wide open, and they'd end up dropping it. It's kind of like the Kaepernick issues, but it's not nearly as prevalent as it was, and he's still young. He has time to work on it. And again, that's a really nice throw right there. Really good timing, really good diagnosis of the one-on-one coverage, and it just ends up being dropped. So again, ball is thrown here. Look again, right as the ball is being thrown. Let's just take one more second. Number 6, he's worried about number 7 here. And that's when Lamar has made his decision. He has the one-on-one coverage. Now, pause in this frame. number 6, if that running back's not there, if the running back ended up running out, he's probably already here, double coverage. But he notices number 7 is thrown out to the left, and number 6 has to worry about him. He cannot leave him open in the flat because Lamar hasn't started to wind up yet. And the second he winds up, because he has such good velocity on his ball, even though number 6 has now noticed, that's a pretty good play by, pretty good awareness by him. Right as the ball is left, he's clearly keeping an eye on the quarterback. He has too good of velocity, and just that extra split second gives him enough time to lace this ball perfectly right in between these 3 defenders, gets it past him. That's really good accuracy, really good velocity, really good arm strength, and again, just really nice diagnosis of the super little things, and also just really good play design. I gotta give it to the coach, because some of these plays are just very well designed. You see that again, ball is thrown perfectly in there. Again, these are just little 10, 12, 15-yard gains. You saw that one huge gain, but for the most part, these are pretty short gains. But this is what makes, again, guys so great. Lamar will take what the defense gives him if he notices it, and that's on he's a young guy right now. The older he gets, the wiser he gets, he'll be able to diagnose more coverages. This is not going to be a problem for him. So people who say, oh, you can't read the defense, he just runs too much, you haven't really watched the film. So here's another one. You can't really see, unfortunately, because of this right here, this big last drive, showing blah, blah, blah. But you have a wide receiver down here, and this is the only defensive back that's even remotely in the vicinity. And again, this is just situational awareness. He really even has some pretty decent protection. He could have maybe waited another second, but notice right away, ball is snapped, and before the defense even has time to react, he just throws it right to this wide open receiver. Look at all this space. He noticed it immediately. He took what the defense gave him. Receiver gains another 5 yards after that. That's just an easy 15-yard gain. He didn't try and get cute with it. He noticed it. He did a good job of not really pointing it out or anything. Pre-snap, defense didn't notice it. He noticed that hole immediately and got them, again, out of that situation. That's 2 plays now you've seen where they were backed up, and he managed to just take the 10, 15-yard gain that he could, create some space for the punter, things like that. That's really big, and that just takes maturity and awareness of what's going on. And again, both of those were on the road too, and the crowd didn't affect him. He just made those throws. Here we have a crucial 4th down where they are going for it. And notice here right away, you kind of have this odd formation here. But you have, the 5 linemen, and then you have these 3, blockers, I guess you could say. And then you have this running back here. And then you kind of have these 5 defensive linemen. They're all going to be engaging with these 5 offensive linemen right here. Actually 6, as you can see there. Yeah, so 6 offensive linemen. And ball is going to be snapped. So everybody right now has, somebody taking care of it. And look at number 11 here. Keep an eye on him and keep an eye on Lamar. He looks to the left. There's nobody there. But you see the safety back here kind of takes it seriously for a second, really kind of looking around, seeing if there's maybe anything he needs to worry about. He's still focused on this side of the field. That's good awareness by him. But he's looking at Lamar, and he just notices something, and that's why he hasn't just broken to the outside yet. And notice that at this point, that's when number 11 has broken, and Lamar, notice he quickly turns left. At this point, wide open. That's too late. It's just that little subtle look off he saw, and knowing exactly when he was going to break, wide open, gets it to him, open field ahead, easy 1st down pickup. And now one more right here, and again, this is another one. This is just a really accurate throw. So ball is being thrown, he's in the back, ball is snapped, and notice here, actually I gotta go back just 1 second. This is where I notice this right here. You have 3 defenders, but you have number 7 here, and again, this linebacker kind of responsible for this running back. Coach is doing a really good job of utilizing the running back to kind of take attention away from these defenders. You have these 2 receivers right here, and he's breaking away. So number 4, he's got his eyes on Lamar. He's got his eyes on both. He's doing a pretty good job, honestly. But he has to also keep an eye on this receiver who's about to break away. Looks like there was some miscommunication here, honestly, or maybe it was well designed and was supposed to be deceptive like that. But by the time the ball leaves Lamar's hands, these guys both notice that the ball is going to number 4, but because he noticed right when he had his opportunity and he has such good velocity on his throw, pass is thrown in the nick of time before either of these defenders can reach this receiver, and then he ends up running forward for a 1st down. Now in the NFL, that might get one of your receivers killed, but luckily this receiver had the awareness to catch it and kind of just dive forward as opposed to, turning away and letting someone level him. And, the goal is to pick up 1st down. Sometimes your receiver is going to get clocked, and again, just look at that velocity, perfect accuracy before either of these defenders can get him and give them just enough space to kind of run forward for the 1st down. What I really like about Lamar Jackson is his ability to make throws off balance. He doesn't need to have perfect pocket, perfect footwork to be able to deliver accurate throws. And that's the type of qualities that really make some quarterbacks absolute superstars. Guys like Russell Wilson, guys like Aaron Rodgers, guys like Andrew Luck. The ability to just make a throw while on the run, turning your body quickly, is what makes those guys so special, and is what will make Lamar Jackson be able to adjust to the NFL quicker, because even if he's under pressure, even if he's put on a team with a poor offensive line, he'll be able to just maneuver around the pocket, find ways to improvise, and find ways to, get the ball downfield, even if he doesn't have perfect protection. And that's what I really like about him. So let's look at this first one right here. You're going to notice the ball snap, he's rolling out to the left, and he's a right-handed thrower. So right off that, notice the way he turns his body. This is not comfortable looking at all. A lot of quarterbacks aren't able to make that, so he turns his body quickly, throws with the right hand, he's off balance, he doesn't have his feet under him at all, and he manages to deliver just a nice little throw right there for a 10, 12-yard gain. And that really opens up the playbook for coaches a lot if he's able to make throws like that on a consistent basis, because he can roll out to the left or roll out to the right. Some quarterbacks are limited. They can't turn their bodies. Even some great quarterbacks in the league, whether it's pass or passing, can't really make throws like that on a regular basis. So that's very nice right there. You'll notice this one here. I really like this one. So he's rolling out to the left again. Ball, he looks like he's about to run out of bounds, but he still has his receiver there. Notice he just flicks it, and he manages to get it to his receiver past all these defenders to pick up the first down. That's really that right there shows again, off balance, not really standard at all. And I know you might be thinking, well, that doesn't look conventional at all. That's an ugly play. Yes, it is. But you know who made plays like that somewhat often? Not somewhat often, but every now and then? Brett Favre. And Brett Favre is a legend. It just shows his ability to improvise, his ability to find ways when the play is not developing the way it should to get the ball in his playmaker's hands anyways. I really like seeing things like that. He's a quick thinker. He's not thrown off by pressure or things like that. So you see here, I really like this. Does a nice job of stepping up, nice little pump fake first, which just throws off this defender here just enough. Does a good job of rolling out to the right, and then right as the ball leaves, is a really good, really accurate throw, first of all. Does a good job of giving his, timing it so that his receiver has just enough time to adjust, turn around, like a little back shoulder fade right there, basically. Keeps his feet in bounds. Really nice catch, too. Again, he's throwing that on the run, and he's able to just deliver a perfect strike even as he's running. He doesn't need to be in the pocket. He's able to get closer, and that's just, really impressive stuff. Not everybody can make throws like that. So here's another one here. You're going to notice play action, nice little play action. He's rolling out to the right. He's about, 10 plus yards, 11 yards behind the line of scrimmage. But notice as he's running, he sees his open receiver right here. Nothing but daylight in front of him. He's able to flick it, leads his receiver perfectly, gets it past these two defenders, and that ends up being a very nice big gain. Here's another one here. He's rolling out again, rolling out to the right. Off balance, feet are not under him at all really, and he's about to get pressure too, so there's a lot going on here. Ball leaves his hands. That's not a perfect throw. His receiver does need to extend a little bit, so it's not perfect, but for being off balance, for having his feet not quite under him, it still hits the receiver's hands. It does end up getting dropped. That's a catch that an NFL receiver can make. Again, not perfect. Could have led him a little bit, but considering the circumstances, considering the ages, that's a really nice tool to be able to begin to work with. You keep going here. This is another one. Now, this is a really bad decision. Let me say that right off the bat. But look at the way he runs. He's running towards the sideline. A lot of quarterbacks probably just throw it away. Probably just maybe even run out of bounds. He ends up throwing it up here. Gets it in. Look at that. This receiver's the only one who can catch this ball. And he makes a phenomenal catch, too. He manages to get his hands on it. It's a little overthrown. Dangerous throw, too, because if he overthrew that even a little bit more, this is an interception right here. But I'm sometimes about the results. And the fact that on the run, running towards the sideline, he's able to just drop that in there perfectly. That's really a borderline perfect throw. And I know that's kind of a weird term, as I'm saying now out loud, borderline perfect. But his receiver makes the catch. Again, athletic NFL receivers will be able to make that catch. He sees the one-on-one coverage, and he manages to get it in there, and they manage to get a touchdown against Clemson early. So now here's another one. This is another one of those cool just improv plays. You see, he starts running forward. He's surrounded. He's about to get hit. He has no time at this point to really wind up, and he could try to run forward, and we'll kind of get to his tendency sometimes to just run right into defenders later. But instead, he manages to just flick it forward. He sees he has his wide open receiver right here, and he has some holes. He has space in between these two linemen. He just flicks it forward right there and gets a touchdown. Just another play unconventional, finds a way to get the ball into his player's hands, even if it's not just a traditional pocket pass. You see more of it here. This is a nice one. He's getting driven back by this lineman. Pressure's in his face, and you might have noticed by now, it's one thing I have noticed that kind of bothers me. So he doesn't really step back, he kind of just stands there where he doesn't really give himself more space, create more space, and that's kind of why he suffers from a lot of pressure sometimes. Coaching can fix that though. But notice here, you can't coach this. He's getting driven back by that lineman, falling backwards, ball is thrown, basically a 20-yard throw. I mean, yeah, he's alright, so about a 15-yard throw from the 40 to about the 20, close to 20 yards. And it's 3rd and 12, gets it in his receiver's hands, at least gives him a chance. Yeah, he doesn't get the first down, but they ended up converting that 4th down anyway. But that's a really impressive throw again. Just look at that. He's getting driven back. A lot of guys would just throw that ball away, but you can't. He can't throw it away at that point because it would have been intentional grounding, and he manages to deliver it to him. There's not many quarterbacks in the league, let alone in this draft class, that can make a throw like that. Finally, right here, look at that. He's stumbling. He could just fall over. He could just give up 2 defenders about to clobber him. He is in a really rough situation here. Most quarterbacks would suffer, but not Lamar Jackson. Look, he manages to get up. He has such a quick release. Nice block there, too. Really saved him, I will say that. Such a quick release. Managed to launch it deep right into the hands of his receiver. He turns what could have been a sack, what could have been a 10-yard loss, into about a 25-yard gain. That's just phenomenal. Just the ability to make throws like that when he's off balance will really take him a long way, because if he can make accurate throws like that when he's off balance, imagine what he'll be able to do when he continues to work on his actual pocket passing, let alone throws like this. He's really accurate, especially, from within 20, 25 yards, and coaches are going to find a way to utilize that. So another thing that will really help Lamar Jackson gain confidence early in his NFL career is his ability to escape from the pocket and escape pressure. This kind of goes with that off-balance throw. Again, he's kind of like Russell Wilson in the pocket. His ability is not just speed. He's not just fast. He's quick. He's elusive. He's just tough to bring down in general. And he's a little taller than Russell Wilson too. So let's take a look here at some of these plays. First play, ball is snapped. He's running, and he's able to just quickly juke out this defender right here. He runs forward for a solid 15-yard gain. Nice stiff arm there. He keeps going. He keeps going. Spin move there as well. And then finally, he's brought down. That's too easy. Here's another one here. Ball is snapped. Pressure coming fast. I don't know what was happening there. They sent a really hard blitz. A lot of quarterbacks might just go down. He manages to run away. He's so quick. Even though they had leverage, he gets past all those linemen, ends up picking up a first down. Now here's another one here. Kind of started that one early, but ball is snapped. He is running forward, and he manages again just to have such good quickness. Here he is. He's about to get destroyed there, but he still manages to fall forward, gain a few extra yards, and you saw the pressure there. He's just getting really destroyed there. Really no good situation here, and he still manages to pick up some yards. So that's really impressive right there. So, again, another one here. Pressure coming. Right here, looks like he's about to get brought down, right? No, he turns around, he keeps running forward, has the quickness to get outside, gets out of bounds. That's another solid 10-yard gain, nearly picks up a first down. Another one here, again, pressure coming, has that nice little dodge move, duck, does whatever he has to, spins out of there, turns around, and ends up gaining another 10 yards. These are just really impressive plays where, again, do you not see the Russell Wilson comparison when it comes to this? I'm not comparing him to Russell Wilson from the beginning to end with everything, but when I see just the magician that he is in the pocket when it comes to avoiding this pressure, I really do see a Russell Wilson component there. Nice pump fake there. That's the second one you've seen. Jukes out number 8 there. Keeps going forward. Follows his blocker well. Manages to pick up more yards. Just more examples of how he is able to use his athleticism, his quickness, his instincts to just avoid pressure and pick up yards when the play breaks down. So again, pressure coming there. He's completely surrounded. Manages to break out. Escapes from that as well. Still ends up losing 2 or 3 yards. But that doesn't change the fact that that's just really impressive. Again, the way that as he's getting destroyed, he just hides, he ducks, he's so tough to bring down, he's got a strong lower body, his ability to just avoid that, and look, they're left like fools. He looks like Barry Sanders almost out there, and even while he's stumbling, he still manages to avoid that defender right there. You just really can't even tell from the film how quick he is, but it's clear based on the way he's making these SEC, again, this is not Purdue he's playing against, no offense Purdue, this is not, I only picked Purdue because I saw that he played against them and I played really well. But I'm going to go, this is not some FCS school. This is not the Citadel. This is Mississippi State, a team that's constantly pumping out NFL defensive players, a team that's got the Southern SEC talent, and he's making those defenders look like fools. That is going to take him a long way. It really helped Russell Wilson when he was a rookie. It really helped Deshaun Watson this year, and it's going to help Lamar Jackson if he does end up being thrusted into a starting role this year. So finally, it's time to talk about what makes Lamar Jackson special, and that is just his ability. You can expand your playbook so much with him. Again, he's not just fast. He has all the qualities, really, besides the beef of an incredible quarterback and an incredible running back, really combined. His balance, his quickness, his speed, it's just so special. And even just his ability to make such quick little subtle moves. Let's look at this first one right here. Ball is snapped, just a quick little, looks for a second like he's going to pass. Quick little stance, and is immediately able to bolt forward, breaks one tackle there because he's slippery, cuts through these 3 defenders, makes them all fall on their faces, and look at all this open field ahead for Lamar Jackson. You're going to see him make plays like that at least once or twice where he's just picking up massive gains. Now let's look at this one right here. Look at how well he sells this read action. Look at all of these defenders. They're all focused on this running back right here. Really looks like he's not going to have the ball. And that gives him just enough time. Nice block there. They're still kind of focused on the running back. All their eyes are on this running back, and he's already going to run out here. That gives him just enough time before they notice to use his quickness to get to the edge and score a touchdown. Another one right here. This one, again, sells the read option really well. Runs to the outside, and now he's not in such a good situation. There are 3 defenders here. This safety right here, or linebacker, can't really tell, has a pretty good angle on him actually. Should be able to get him, but he uses that quick little move, cuts right through them. How did he pull that off? I'm not sure. He cuts right through these 2 defenders, manages to score a touchdown there. That's just quickness beyond all belief right there. I don't know how he manages to pull stuff off like that. He almost looks like Le'Veon Bell, the way he's running this football sometimes. Here's another one right here. Again, really good job of selling it. He runs, gets past these 2 defenders. They're not quick enough. It was just that second of thinking that this running back had the ball that gets them both. He's too far away. He was looking at him, and even when he already has the angle, he was running towards the running back. He wasn't able to change his speed. He looked slow. Because look, they're all going after him still. Even as he starts running, he hasn't processed yet that Lamar Jackson's the one with the ball. Number 72 here has him blocked as well. That's just a really nicely designed play. And then look at that balance right there. He's getting he gets hit on his ankles. He manages to stay back up, keeps running forward. Look at that little move right there too. Just a quick little juke there. Gets away, gets around 80. 80 doesn't even know what went on. His own teammates get confused by how quick and agile he is. It's just so tough to bring him down, which is again why he's different than some of these mobile quarterbacks you see in college that are just able to pick up a ton of yards because they're fast. This kid is more than that. Another one here, another really nice sell. He buys it. They all buy it. They're all going towards this running back here. Look at that. Even as Lamar is running towards this wide open field, they all have their eyes on this running back right here. You will not be able to know. And look at that. Open field ahead. Nice little juke move there. He keeps going. You'll see the emblem come up. I don't think he scored, but you see he has more open field. You know he got a lot more yards. And now finally, look at this. It's not always a run for him. Does a really good job of selling this again. Everyone's got their eyes either on this running back or on Lamar Jackson. Even right up here. He's right here. He's looking at Lamar, and he just quickly flicks it out to this tight end. That's such a creative play. I didn't see a lot of this in the 4 games I looked at, honestly, and I was surprised because you're able to do things like this. Quick little shuffle pass there. Wide open. Not wide open, obviously, but manages to bolt forward, gain that first down in the red zone. Just so much attention being drawn. You can line up so many different types of plays with Lamar Jackson on the field. That's what you can do when you have a mobile quarterback who sells the read option as well as Lamar Jackson does. So by now you might be thinking, wow, Lamar Jackson, really great mind, great idea of where, what's going on in the field, processes information quickly, very accurate when it comes to his short passes at least, and a phenomenal athlete. Why wouldn't you want to take him top 3? Why wouldn't he be a franchise quarterback? He does have some weaknesses, and we do have to dive into them. And let me start by saying he is still one of my favorite prospects in this whole draft. I've liked him since I first started watching him in his first game last year. That doesn't change the fact that he needs to work on some things, and if he doesn't work on them, he will end up being a bust. And one is just the way he's so reckless with his body. And it works in college, but in the NFL, he's going to get himself killed if he keeps playing like this. And I love his mobility. And you notice with a lot of those plays I showed you, he either got down, or he got out of bounds. There are some plays where he just doesn't. So look at this right here, for example. Ball is snapped. Again, sells the read option well. He's running forward, and he just dives right into these two defenders. Again, that works here. Against NFL linemen, you cannot take a pounding like that for, 15 times a game. You're only going to survive so long. I want Lamar Jackson to have a long and prosperous career. This one especially. This one really bothered me right here. He's, runs, sees it, escapes, does a good job picking up a first down. Just get out of bounds, Lamar. Just get out of bounds. No, he decides to head on and force himself over this corner. That works if you're Cam Newton. Don't get me wrong. But Lamar, you're still only 6'3", you're still only 213 pounds. I like the toughness. I like the aggressiveness. I understand it's a man's game. But would you rather have toughness and pride, or would you rather have a longer career with more wins, more accolades, more Super Bowl rings? Call me a softie if you want. I think I prefer the latter. You're not a running back, Lamar. You can go out of bounds, and NFL GMs will probably appreciate that. Here's another one right here. He runs. He just dives head first into this lineman. Again, he could have just, maybe at this point, he could run outside, try to get out of bounds, maybe pick up a few yards. He's quicker than this lineman for sure. Or maybe at least he's running side by side, and the lineman has a chance to maybe just drag him down, as opposed to just being able to level him. And again, he's lucky. He could have gotten, a better NFL lineman, a guy like Aaron Donald, a guy like J.J. Watt, is going to take your head off if you try and take him on head on like that. Again, don't get me wrong, I said it already. I like the aggressiveness. It shows he has moxie. But someone needs to just sit him down and say, hey, Lamar, love the toughness. Keep yourself safe. We want you to last long in this league, and you won't last long in this league. That's how he'll end up like Michael Vick, who, dog stuff aside, was broken down before a lot of other quarterbacks have been broken down because he just got hit so much. So here's another one here. Again, he's running, and boom, he levels his shoulder. He could slide here. NFL quarterbacks, you got your first down, Lamar. You have your first down. Slide. Just slide. You're not going to get past these guys. And instead, he tries to take them on, head on, linebacker right there. Gets thrown to the ground. Again, a few years in college, that's fine. But you're going to see later, his stats, he had over 200 rushes per season the last 2 years. It was over 260 for each one. So that's 500 times he's rushed the ball. And most of the time, he's getting hit like this. That has to wear you down. That's going to wear you down physically over time. Keep going. Here he runs right into his lineman. So again, he's so smart in general, but every now and then he just makes a boneheaded play like that, runs into his own lineman, ends up losing yards there. Here's another one. He's running outside. He could have at this point just cut outside, maybe gained about 5 yards. Instead, he decides to go head on into those 3, make it 4 defenders, and he ends up getting crushed. He needs to have more awareness on a consistent basis, because you saw what I showed you earlier. He's obviously very smart. He obviously processes information very quickly. You saw so many examples of it, and yet he's out here making boneheaded decisions like this, and you wonder what it is. Is it pride? Is it just maybe he's just inconsistent? Give him more time, and hopefully he fixes this, but if he keeps this up, he will not succeed. Here's another one. He's running. This is a really bad one. Right here, he jumps. You have this defender right here, you have this defender right here, and you have this defender right here. There's defenders everywhere. Now he's putting himself in such a vulnerable state. He gets lucky here. He falls to the ground. He doesn't get leveled. He could have gotten destroyed by this lineman right here. He could have taken his head off. That's a concussion. That's a neck injury. That's horrible. And I don't want to see Lamar Jackson end up being the next what could have been, because he's so reckless with his body that he doesn't last more than a few years. Here's one more. Just, he's running. Follow your blockers. Cut through this little hole right here, and you're fine. Instead, he takes this defender head on. That's just not going to work at the NFL level. You're working with men. There's men everywhere, giant men who've been doing nothing but lifting and eating 8,000 calories worth of healthy meat and protein. These are rocks you're basically running into. These are not college athletes. He's going to learn fast if he keeps this up. That's not going to work in the NFL. So that's my first issue. So the recklessness can be coached. This I'm a little more worried about. And there are signs of potential. You see he has the arm. He has a really, nice way of throwing it. He's so accurate and shorter. But when it comes to throwing the deep ball, more often than not, he struggles. Especially against these good defenses where it's actually, tight coverage. Yeah, he managed to bomb it deep on, to wide open receivers against some the worst teams. I saw it against Syracuse last year, for example. But in actual tight coverage, every now and then you got to be able to drop the ball in the breadbasket. And he really struggled with that. And even made some questionable decisions when it came to throwing it deep. So here's this first one. This one's probably one of the worst ones, honestly. But we'll get right to it. Ball is snapped. He has really good protection. Steps up in the pocket, makes a throw. What is he thinking? You see these two defenders right here. Luckily, it's overthrown, so it doesn't get picked off. But there is no throw you can make in this scenario where this receiver's going to catch. And there's not a receiver anywhere else. There's no receiver that could have driven away this safety right here. Maybe if he had the one-on-one coverage. Looks like they were playing some sort of cover two. Both safeties were prepared for it. There was no one else there. Really bad decision and really bad throw. This one right here again, he's got good time. Nice pump fake. I like that. You know, that's something that's really going to help him. But still some good time. Doesn't really step back or anything, create more space. Finally, about to get hit, decides to make a quick decision. Has an open man, so this was a good decision. This wasn't a bad decision. Open man, just overthrows him. Again, that's a throw you have to make. When you have that much space, you're not going to get space like that in the NFL as often as you get in college. When you have that much space, you've got to be able to make that throw on a consistent basis. That's what really separates. I actually even heard, I forget who it was, might have been Greg Cosell, really smart guy, but he said what really separates elite quarterbacks from mediocre quarterbacks is their ability to make those throws into open spaces on the sidelines. And he's open there, and he just whiffs. So now here's another one here. This one, he was under pressure a lot in this game, so I kind of don't blame him as much. He started throwing it deep as they were down more. Does a good job of avoiding the pressure there. Throws it deep, and again, this is one where, unless you're throwing to Calvin Johnson, or, you know, who's retired now, but, or A.J. Green, or Julio Jones, this is not really a good decision. Yes, with those guys, they can jump up, they can body up the receiver, but I have a feeling that Julio Jones is not playing for Louisville, or I would have found out about it by now. And again, he throws it, just not a great decision in the first place, overthrown, not really catchable, doesn't really understand that this receiver's not going to be able to make that catch. Ball ends up being tipped, he's lucky that one wasn't picked off. Another one against NC State, pressure coming in his face fast, so I don't blame him as much for this one. Takes the, would have taken the hit actually, doesn't get hit, but he, in the face of pressure, drives it, so he's not afraid at least. But again, these two defenders right here, there's not another receiver in sight. Unless he delivered that absolutely perfectly in between, which it would have been tough to do, you're not really going to be able to complete that throw, and he overthrows him anyway. So not a great throw, pretty poor decision. Again, if this receiver was faster maybe, but there's just nothing working there, and I don't know why he made the decision. He needs to work on just, staying cool under pressure, maybe throwing the ball away a little more, actually. And I know that maybe this kind of contradicts some of the stuff I liked about him earlier. I just said he needs to throw the ball away a little more, but it's all about finding that healthy balance. He has the ability, again, to make some of those phenomenal throws. Doesn't mean he has to do it every single time. Just like he has the ability to run. Doesn't mean he has to do it every single time. That's what makes Russell Wilson so special. Yes, he has the ability to rush for 150 yards a game, but he only does it when he needs to. He doesn't rely on it game after game. He uses it when he needs to, and that's what I really like, and that's what I hope Lamar Jackson learns how to do. Here's another one right here, nice little play action. He has all the time in the world in this one. Throws it deep. Again, now I'm going to say this was the first throw of the game, 15 minutes left in their bowl game, so it's been about a month since he's played a competitive game of football. I'm going to give this one a bit more of a pass because that's his first throw. He's probably rusty, and he got better as this game went on. But still, don't know where this ball was going. Really, the only person who could have caught this is the defensive back. If he throws this right over here, maybe leads his receiver a little more towards the inside, maybe he ends up having a big play, but that ball didn't go anywhere near there. Nearly gets picked off. Lucky that it isn't. Needs to really work on where he wants to put the ball when it's more than 20, 25 yards. So here's another one. Steps in the pocket again. Good protection. Goes deep. This is a good decision here. He has, he's far away from this defender. If he had thrown it more here, given him a little more space, maybe he could have gotten it in there, but he overthrows him again. So he's got the arm strength at least, because look, from the 20, he manages to get it to the other 30. So the strength is there, and the way he just flicks it so effortlessly too shows that, again, even as he's being surrounded, he flicks it so effortlessly. That's the strength, that's the positive, but he needs to work on getting it where it needs to be. And that's another bad throw. Could have been a touchdown, especially 10 minutes left. That could have really changed the game right there. Here's another one right here. He's in the pocket again, kind of skipped ahead, but he has good protection here. Ball is thrown. Can't really tell, actually. No, it was not tipped. Overthrown here, and you've got a lot of defenders. Here's where, those throws that he was making a little closer, he can aim for a throw like this, where these linebackers still aren't very close. This defensive back here isn't close. There's separation everywhere. And if that was, closer, he could have delivered that nice, accurate dart you saw earlier in this video. But here, overthrows him, ball ends up getting intercepted. So he tries to make throws like that deep when he doesn't have the capability just yet. And it ends up leading to turnover. So he needs to really, again, work on his accuracy. If he works on that deep accuracy, he will be an absolute superstar. But right now, he just doesn't quite have it, at least on a consistent basis. We have one more here, again. More pressure coming right in his face, so it's tougher to blame him for this one. Off balance as well, not good footwork at all. Has the open receiver there, and he just whiffs on him. He could have made that throw. So again, another time where he struggles with those sideline throws, and that would really take his game to the next level. Is it hopeless? Will he never be able to do it? I don't know. Hopefully he ends up on the right coaching staff that's able to diagnose this issue quickly so he's able to work on it. Now notice, though, that I did keep using a specific word, consistency, because the ability is there, and that's why I do believe that he can be coached. So here's a few examples. We'll end on a high note again, on some intermediate and deep throws that he actually really did deliver with some nice accuracy. So you see his first one here, and again, goes back to the quick decisions. He sees the one-on-one coverage right away. Really, not even good coverage. He ends up getting interfered with. That ball was put really where it should have been. If he wasn't getting interfered with, he would have been able to call that ball. But he ends up instead throwing it up to the one-on-one receiver, the cornerback with his back turned, and he ends up getting a flag. They don't show it here. The flag was called, and he ends up getting the interference called there. So that's not a bad throw at all. Here's another one. He has good protection here. Laces the ball right into this defender here about 20 yards down the field. Gets it over these defenders, so he's not able to be picked off or anything like that, which is really nice. Again, he has the time. He's about to get hit there. That quick release. The ball is laced right in there, and then ends up being a nice big gain. So he can get it, down the field at times. It's just he needs to work on doing it all the time. Or, not even all the time, but more often than not. Because you'll notice there are less examples of success than there is of failures. But here's another one. Again, nice pocket, nice pocket right there. Nice protection, actually. Just flicks it, gets it right there to his man. Open, accurate, perfect throw. Gets it past everybody, finds him, and gets it in there. That was fine. Now notice here, 4th and 21. This is very similar, actually. It's funny, to that 3rd and 18 that Tom Brady converted against the Jaguars in the AFC Championship game. But 4th and 21, 21 seconds left. Crucial, clutch play. I don't know how he got so open, but Lamar didn't botch it. He got the ball to his receiver about 30 yards down the field when you consider that extra space behind the line of scrimmage. Now here's another one right here, and this is a different angle so you can see. There's Lamar, he's standing. This is about a 20 or 30 yard throw as well. You can see he does it, and that goes right in the bread. Look at that accuracy right there. Really good coverage there, but just an absolutely perfect throw. Nice catch as well, really nice catch. But he gets it right over the defender, leads his receiver perfectly. So again, just because he doesn't do it on a consistent basis doesn't mean he can't do it at all. That's a really tough throw to make. Here's the last one. Notices that one-on-one coverage. Ball is thrown perfectly. Ends up getting dropped, but can you throw a better ball than that? And that's about 50 yards down the field. That should be a touchdown, or at least, at the very least, should be, give them 1st and goal at about the 2-yard line. Here's another angle of it right here. Right over this defender. It's right in his hands. He should have had that ball. That is a perfect deep throw. So again, you noticed a lot more failures than successes, but that doesn't mean that it's not doable at all. He does have the ability to convert the deep passes at times. So thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate the support. Just a little bit about Lamar Jackson's background before we wrap up. 2015 was when he first started. He had 1,840 passing yards, averaged 7.4 yards per attempt, 12 touchdowns, 8 picks, only completed about 55% of his passes. He also had 163 rushes for 960 yards, 11 touchdowns, averaged almost 6 yards per carry. Then in 2016, that was when he won his Heisman, 3,543 pass yards, 8.7 yards per attempt, 30 touchdowns, 9 picks, 56% completions. 260 rushes for over almost 1,600 yards, 1,571, 6 yards per carry, 21 touchdowns. 2017, this year, 3,660 passing yards, 8.5 yards per attempt, 27 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, completed 59% of his passes. So notice there also 232 rushes, 1,600 rushing yards, almost 7 yards per attempt, and 18 touchdowns. So two things I really noticed about that is A, he actually reduced his number of rushes, but he increased his yards per carry by almost 1, which shows that he's getting better at picking and choosing when he needs to rush the ball. And 2, his completion percentage improved every year, which shows that there is absolutely room for improvement when it comes to his accuracy, because completion percentage is a pretty important stat. I don't really look at stats too much when it comes to college football, but I do with quarterbacks. Completion percentage is one that I really like to look at. Doesn't tell the whole story, but it can tell a story. Thanks again, guys. Really appreciate it. You can follow us on Twitter at @DMadmanSports. You can follow me at BSUL21. Make sure you hit that big red subscribe button. We'll have plenty more film analysis coming at you as we approach the NFL draft. Still plenty of time to go. Still plenty of prospects to go over. Next time, you can expect Saquon Barkley, the star running back from Penn State, breaking lifting records. So talented in general. I'm really excited to take a deeper look into what he has to offer. Thanks again.